Hey friends, it's Thursday, February 18th, 2021. Thank you for joining me. Oh gosh, this is getting so annoying. Unexpected. Jobless claims show unexpected move higher. How many times in a row, how many weeks in a row does something have to happen before it's expected, right? I expected it, and I'm sure most of you expected it. Why every week CNBC unexpected jobless claims? Right? It's unbelievable that some people still are shocked by this news, right? We knew this economic recovery was a sham and a scam. Even with the so-called reopening, still jobless claims, jobless filings, new filings are surging. Long-term unemployment is skyrocketing because people are dropping off of the unemployment eligibility roll. All right, we're also going to talk here in a few minutes about the Wal-Mart CEO. He says send out more stimulus checks. We'll talk about what I think that's really about. But let's take a look at the chart right here. And let's just draw a line across here. Not much of a recovery, right? I think a recovery would look something like this. And maybe it would get back down to where we were before the shutdowns began. Right, another 861,000 new unemployment filings. I ask you again, where is the recovery, and why is the news media saying that there's a recovery? Well, maybe so people will be confident and go out and spend, and they're probably going to spend money at the mega corporation instead of the mom and pop shop. So the mega corporations make more money, and that leads us to our next story, the Walmart CEO. Let's look at what he said. Another CNBC article, Walmart CEO says Americans urgently need another stimulus check. Well, yes, it's true. He's not lying. Americans need a stimulus check. But that's not what all Americans need. Americans really need a bank, in this case the Fed, that's not going to continually push for prices to rise. Right? By propping up the banking system, it's endless lending, endless money printing, endless liquidity. That's going to equal rising prices. Walmart CEO Doug McMillon said more customers spent their recent stimulus checks on necessities such as groceries rather than big screen TVs. All right, let's take a look and let's take a listen what the CEO said. McMillon, the CEO of Walmart, what he said at the CNBC interview right here.
And what do consumers need from the government?
Yeah, there are some specific industries that need support and some specific players within industries that do. We've been for months now suggesting that the government should move quickly to do additional stimulus. And as we had the conversation last week, that obviously came up. We do see individual families and customers that are struggling more than they did this time last year and months ago, and small business in particular is struggling. So as it relates to the stimulus, the two things that we stressed were helping the families that need it most and helping small business. The amount of that, Congress, the administration are going to have to figure out. But we can see in our customer behavior that some customers, as they receive this most recent stimulus, are spending it more on basics, more on private brands, smaller pack sizes, things like that, as opposed to some of the stimulus dollars that came out earlier last year that were spent more like tax rebate checks, where people were buying televisions and things to entertain themselves at home. There's a bit of a mix shift now, and we think it reflects the fact that customers out there do need some help.
All right, so he says more people are spending their money on necessities, more food and less big screen TVs, as he put it. But why is no one talking about an actual solution, right? More stimulus checks is not going to solve anything, right? Are more stimulus checks going to make home prices affordable, rents affordable for people? Is it going to bring the cost of energy down? Is it going to bring the cost of medical down? Is it going to bring the cost of education down? Car insurance, home insurance? Is it going to bring my car registration fee down, which is like $220 this year for a 2014 vehicle? $220 to register my old 7-year-old vehicle in California. right? Stimulus checks are great. Hip, hip, hooray. I hope they do get sent out because there's a lot of people that need them. But it's not going to change the long-term picture when you have a Fed that is bent on causing inflation. And the 2% inflation target is basically a joke when you look at the real cost of living. Right? Why are they so afraid of deflation? What's wrong with deflation? When people don't have money, prices should come down. Isn't that how it's supposed to work? Isn't that supply and demand? Let's see, didn't we learn that back in, was it 10th grade in high school? All right, but look at this. Lumber prices top $1,000 for the first time as single-family housing starts to drop 12%. So in the middle of the biggest housing bubble we've ever seen, way past the 2008 housing bubble that went bust, now we have this. Lumber prices, the highest ever, all-time high. Housing starts are dropping. Interest rates, mortgage rates are all-time lows, near all-time lows. So you're going to see more people borrowing and bidding up homes. But yet now it's going to be harder to build homes. So you're still going to have this issue with low supply. The people that are not making their mortgage payments, they cannot get foreclosed because of the moratoriums. So it's more supply of homes that are not going to get put on the market because people are just going to stay put. And it's going to be this continuous imbalance that's going to continue to push home prices higher. Now that price has doubled in just 3 months. All right, this is going to get bad, folks. There's a lot of people already that are in severe financial stress because of the cost of living, especially housing. And you have things like this happening with the lumber prices. You have populations exploding. Right? Too many people, not enough houses. It's not going to be hard to figure out. The only thing that can stop this real estate bubble home prices from going higher is a major situation transition within the banking system. What would that look like? That means a lawmaker would have to come in and say, hey, banks, they cannot loan out money that they don't have in reserves. The fractional reserve system would have to change. I don't see that happening anytime soon. You'd have to have some sort of credit freeze where something major happens. Maybe the derivatives market blows up, the bond market, bonds spike. The Fed, they can control the bonds pretty much. You might see some ups and downs, but the Fed has unlimited firepower, so to speak, to control the bond price. So I don't see that happening. Is it possible that they let the bonds rise and let the credit markets take a hit? It's possible. And then they could say, "Oh, nobody saw this coming. The crash came out of nowhere. Nobody expected it." Well, nobody expected it because they never expect the Fed to pull back the support. But that's the thing. Nobody knows what to expect because nobody knows exactly what the playbook of the Fed is going to be. Is it going to be unlimited inflation to infinity? Or will they step back and let the market correct at some point, let the crash happen, and then blame it on some event? Oh, the markets crashed because there was too much debt. All right, they'll think of something, I'm not sure when. Everything's okay. As long as we get more stimulus checks, everything will be fine. No problem. Everything's going to work out. All right, we're going to talk about the stimulus checks next report. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Have a good night. Stay well, stay safe, stay prepared, stay warm. Bye for now.